Okay guys, here's video number 3, and it's titled The Shrink Wrap Effect. And what I'm talking about here is when the skin is kind of just tight around the muscles, which revealing all of the definition that you have. Like, you've seen somebody with like really nice abs, like the skin fills in all the grooves. That's because their skin is really tight into the abdominal region. And there's a couple different ways of doing this, but let me talk about what this is not, first of all, just to get this out of the way. This is not carb loading and carb depleting. That's a way of getting the shrink wrap effect for like 24 to 72 hours. And what happens there is people like carb deplete, they don't eat any carbs for a few days, and then right before like a photo shoot, like 2 days before, they'll eat a bunch of carbs, and then their muscles overcompensate, and it loads in the glycogen, and it's their muscles become bigger than normal for like 24 to 72 hours, and that makes the skin tight around their muscles and gives them a shrink wrap effect for just a couple of days. Well, I'm not talking about that, because who wants to look good for just a couple of days? The shrink wrap effect I'm talking about is how to hold this look for like an entire summer or even longer. And there's 2 ways of doing this, so let me talk about the common method of doing this. The common method is to diet hard and get to a low body fat percentage. I mean, that's common sense, right? But to hold that body fat level for at least 6 to 8 weeks without losing muscle. So you want to be at that exact same size and hold that size, and within around the 2-month mark or like 6-week mark, the skin will adapt to that new smaller body size that you are, and so the skin will look nice and tight around your new body size. And that's why, like lots of times, people look better in mid-July than they do at the beginning of June, because their skin is lagging behind. And so that's the common way. But I do have a more advanced strategy that works better. So let's talk about that. Okay, so here you've really got to watch video number 2, the one right before this, to understand what I'm talking about here. But here, what you want to do is you want to diet hard, get to that low body fat level, just like you do using the common method. But here you want to work on, when you're lifting, you want to work in that lower rep range. You want to increase your muscle density, but purposely lose a little bit of that sarcoplasmic growth, the fluid within the muscle cells. So purposely avoid those higher rep ranges, avoid the pump, avoid fatigue and all that. And so get to about 5 to 10 pounds lighter than your ideal size, than your target weight. And what will happen is, during this period of time when you're lifting the lower rep ranges and dieting and stuff, your skin is going to shrink down and get really close to that lowest weight, that 5 to 10 pounds lighter weight that you are. And at some point it'll be kind of tight around that lower body fat level and that lower body size level that you are. But then what you're going to do is you're going to reintroduce that sarcoplasmic growth 3 weeks before an event. You're going to start training in the higher rep range. And you don't need to increase your carbs or anything like that. Just training in that higher rep range and eating the same, your muscle is going to increase that intracellular fluid, and then it's going to put on that 5 or 10 pounds, and it's going to kind of be like carb loading, except for this is going to be a permanent increase in size. And so this is exactly what Taylor Lautner used in preparation for New Moon. If you were to read his interview in Men's Health, I think it is, he talks about how with just 3 or 4 weeks to go and shooting the movie, that he was too light. And so what his personal trainer had him do was put on muscle right up until the day of the shoot. So they got him ripped, got him down to low body fat level, but he was working his way up right before the shoot. And that's the main key, is to get smaller than what you need to be by focusing on the low rep range, the myofibrillar density training, and avoiding the sarcoplasmic training. And then 3 weeks before summer or before a trip, work your way back up by doing that higher rep training and reintroduce that intracellular fluid into your muscle cells. And then what's going to happen is, after about 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to have this crazy shrink wrap effect. Your muscles are going to be dense from that lower rep training you did as well. So you have these full, dense muscles with skin that's shrink wrapped nicely around them, and it works like a charm. It really does. So give that a try. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about how to tie all of this in together. How to build full, dense muscles with that angular look, not that sort of bloated, rounded look. And just how to make sure that you get that lean Hollywood type of look and to kind of tie in all these things we talked about together. Okay? So I will see you over